Hi, it's Christy, and I am here with one of my most favorite people, John, and he has some words to say to us, and I just thought we'd video it. So here's John. Hi, John.
Okay, hello everybody, and God bless everybody that's looking at me as I look at you. I'm not going to take up too much of your time this particular time, but I have some things I wanted to bring to your attention. And for one, I want to bring this cursing that's going on in the records of those who have the records, the grown-ups and things like that, and kids. Kids are very precious. I mean, very, very precious, and I hope each one of you have one. If you don't have one, go out and get you one, because there are a lot of kids that need pops and things like that, and moms. And we should actually be pops and moms to all kids. Yeah, I always talk about the colors, all colors. I don't even tell you what race the color is, but I tell you all colors of what man say out of his mouth, color. We all should be the grown-ups of all kids, of every kid that smile and that's in the playground during its lifetime in the beginning, because that's the way we all was. We were in a playground and we didn't believe in nothing but playing and having fun, and we wasn't all wrapped up in the adults thinking. And I say to you again that, and I hate to say this, I don't hate to say it, I gotta tell you, it's the adults that are the biggest liars, the biggest robbers, the biggest killers, the biggest of all against God in sin. And we shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't be selfish within ourselves because of a child that may come by you, and you don't even know the child is coming by you, but yet you're on one of those cell phones and you just saying anything that comes out your mouth. And what you're saying out your mouth, the child has to put in his head. You may say, oh, that child ain't listening, but the child will listen to every single thing that's around it. If it makes a sound, that child is taking it in. The child has a mind like an elephant, and it takes it in because it's brand new, and it takes all things to learn. It wants to learn. But it is what we put in these kids' mouths and in their minds that shouldn't be in your mind and in your mouth. I go back to the dead, and I'm sorry if you think that I'm staying the dead, but the dead taught us as not to say certain words, to respect others. Respect the child that come up to you and got tears in his eyes and a lollipop hanging out of his mouth, and saying, you wanna, can you reach this for me? But you're standing there talking to another adult with vanity coming off in your mouth. Now, the vanity is not so many words. It's just so many curse words that society have. They can't find no more curse words. It's just the same old mess. And those curse words truly belong to the devil, is what I say. The curse words, the ones that you think protect you because it makes you feel as though that you getting your point over. You won't get your point over by calling somebody an F and a M and a S and these things. You calling these churches that God said that He called churches yourselves. You're calling yourselves uh, 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 by cursing the church. You're cursing God, especially the ones that believe in God. You're cursing God that come out your mouth because you're cursing at another church. You're cursing at the friend that you're riding around with your buddy, and you just saying all these foolish words to your buddy. Why would you put in your buddy's ear, if your buddy is a church that Christ said your buddy is? Why would you give your buddy something in its ears to fulfill its church with filth? Why would you do that? You don't want to give your friend that you love them words. Why would you do that? Why would you keep putting those things in his ears? This is your best friend, but you putting those things in his ears. And guess what? He's going to go back when he gets married, or go back when he gets a child, and he gets mad with him. He's going to say what he heard you put in his ears. You see, you don't want to support that. I'm telling you, you don't want to support that. Because when you get in a certain age and your child turn around and curse you, then you trying to figure out where did this come from? We didn't teach this child that, you know. And I'm going to say this: we're sitting here at Vaughn's and PV, and there's a lot of cursing that's going on, you know. And I'm saying this to the ones that are high up over Vaughn's, the ones, the owners or whatever, their business. If you got a business and your business is supposed to be serving the people, serving those who work and bring their money to you and pay for the checks of those who work in these Vaughn's places and rafts and all these, and when you bring your baby and your baby's man in the stroller or whatever, and you coming by with your child and the baby and the adults sitting up there, calling each other a mother and a M and a F and a S and all this sort of stuff in their conversation, and then when you as a person come up and say, please don't say that around the children and things like that, they get upset with you. I'm grown. You're not grown, brother. You can't be grown if you're sitting up doing this. That's not grown. That's something that seems like children should be doing, that you should be teaching a child not to do. You know? And if you're calling somebody an M, do you realize what the M word is? Do you realize God made the woman M? He made him a mother, a mom's. That word is important, brother, to your grandmother that's alive, and to the ones that was alive. They call them moms, and they call them mother. You know, you don't use that word in like you're using it in a curse word. You use it in like you're using in a respectable way. You call that child. That child is walking with his moms, and you gonna say, your M? What do you think that child is thinking? That's my mom. That's my mom. You know what? That's my mom. You know? And she goes home, and the child said, why that man say? And he cursed with what you said. And she said, no, son, don't say that. Don't say that. But mom, that's your name. What? How can she explain that to her baby? Every moms don't want their child cursing at them. What if your child turn around and call you a MF and all that sort of stuff? What if your son or daughter do that to you? What if your wife turn around and start cursing at you, and she just constantly cursing at you, and you can't get nothing to say it in because she's just constantly cursing at you? How do you think that person feels? I'm telling you, Jesus' moms was moms. You know, Emmanuel's moms was moms. And you know who gave that name to moms? God. Adam didn't give that name to moms. God gave that name to moms. You see, there's no respect no more because society has allowed it to seek into the records and things like that. And going around with instead of turning it down for what they should hear, they want to turn it up so they can be noticed and everybody hearing. It's wrong, my brothers. It is wrong. Of all races and all colors. You all my brothers and sisters. And it's wrong, man. It's just completely wrong. You just don't do that. Come on. Be the adults for a change. Everybody we need to stop all this being the biggest murderers and the biggest thieves and the biggest killers and the biggest of all against God in sin, so that our children, the kids, can have a nice future because they're hearing clean words. And how many words that God is giving you to say out of your mouth? God is giving you so many words to say out of your mouth. You can't count them that are righteous words. You can't even count them. Because what I just told you right now, I couldn't count all the words that I just said to you. You see? And I have not said to you a curse word. You see? But I got my point. I'm getting my point over, I hope, to you. And without me bringing up these few 4, 5, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, 5 words of cursing. I don't need them in my life. I don't need them in no child's life. I don't need them in no mother's life. I don't need them in the grandma's life. I don't need them in life, period. Because God gave me too many words to speak that I can get my point over. Now, if I was having trouble with getting my point over, without people understanding, then, well, I look for something. But I don't need that because I can get my point over. I can be mad at you and still get my point over to you with the wonderful words. With a little child coming by and two old men standing in the street talking about, hey, you and what you think the eyes and the ears are doing of a child. They're not paying attention to moms, they're paying attention to them. So don't give nobody else's kid the worst of your dirt that's underneath your shoes. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. It's time for the grown-ups to grow up. See, because when the grown-ups grow up, oh man, the kid's gonna have a wonderful life. All the problems and stuff that people are going through and all this sort of stuff, the problems are here, brother. And you got to learn how to accept those problems. You got to learn how to accept the bad. I mean, the low, not the bad, but the low as well as the high. You think of a person that just started out, and that person got all the riches in the world coming its way. The plate that was clean is getting food on it. You got all the wonderful things that you want to eat and drink and celebrate over. You got all that in your plate. But when that plate is clean, you're down at your lowest. You can't take that so well because you've been up where the plate was full, you see. But don't you know everything has to lose